Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and in today's video, we're going to look at my take on Gary V's best advice for how to build a successful personal brand. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Don't look for shortcuts.
My question to you is, what would you do if you were starting over and building your personal brand all over again? Basically, getting the name Gary V out there all over again. In this day and age, what would you do to go out there and really spread the word and to get yourself known?
I love this question, and boy, I'm gonna set up, do I have a really good answer for this? Because you, and thanks for the question, and every other youngster needs to hear this really, really loud and clear. And this is not being disrespectful because I was a 22-year-old genius business person in my mind because of what I did. But I would do exactly what I did, which is for the first 10 years of my professional career, I didn't say a damn thing. From 22 to 32, when it comes to business, at 30 I started Wine Library TV. From 22 to 32. And one would argue that I was really doing business since 14, but I'll just say 22 because it was all in, no school, fine. From 22 to 32, my friend, I did nothing in building the Gary Vaynerchuk brand. You know what I did? I did the work that allowed me to have the audacity to build the Gary Vaynerchuk brand. This notion that you can just come out the gate and build your brand by growth hacking and putting yourself out there and getting on some podcasts and leveraging other people's brands to get on and build yourself as an expert in what? Like, when are we gonna start asking all these people that are experts, what did they do? Here's what I did and why I think you should listen to me in business. I am now in the midst of building my second $50 million plus business within a 5-year window. That's good execution at a speed that most people can't calibrate at a high volume. Is it 50 billion? No, but it's a life, right? For a lot of people, it's business. I invested in companies early on and made a lot of money because I saw where the market was going. Hence the video I popped up earlier before that's linked below of what I saw with Apple Pay. I did things that allowed me to start having a shot to be worthy of people buying a $15 book or spending 15 minutes and watching his or her show. So I did things. So my friend, to you and everybody else, I promise you, before you get your name out there, it'd be really nice that you can go to the accomplishments. Because when I ask you, hey bro, awesome that you're a branding or health or personal coach or whatever the hell you are, but what did you do to become good enough to do this? I'd like to know. I love when people argue with me on this issue. They're like, well, look at all the football coaches. These coaches, a lot of times, are not real players. You don't have to be a great football player to be a great football coach. Guys, have you looked at every football coach? There is no football coach that comes out of nowhere at 23 years old and is then an NFL coach and wins Super Bowls. They've been a ball boy since they were 7 and worked within the organization for 20 years, 15 years. Eric Mangini, when he was a Jets coach at 36, had been a ball boy since he was 18. Like they're in it forever. They're kids, they're sons and daughters of coaches. They've been in it their whole lives. That's how you get there. And so this quick move of using good modern technology to build up your brand, siphoning and doing JVs with other people to siphon their brand equity that you're passing on, that I'm an expert, and then coming out the gate and saying, I'm an expert building a brand. It's ludicrous. I laugh at it in my soul, in my stomach, and so does everybody who's got chops. I'm gonna say it one more time. I laugh at it, and so does everybody that's got chops. And I need you to pay attention to that. You have to earn your opportunity to be a personal brand. And the only way to do that is to actually execute. And so when somebody asks me, well, what makes you a social media expert? I show them things I've sold in sales, business, put money in the pocket, predicated on marketing within that channel. That's a way to do it. That I believe in.
Rule number 2, be self-aware.
You know, being a personal brand for the sake of being a personal brand is usually the quickest way to not be a personal brand. I think you have to understand what you do, what you talk about. I mean, I talk and talk and talk and talk and have for the last decade, but if you look carefully, in a very narrow, you know, I haven't gone into healthcare or geopolitical. You know, I'm not talking for the sake of talking or adding my 2 cents to every pop culture situation. I talk about the things that I know. Communication in a modern world, usually in a social network environment, right? And so, and more probably now in a voice environment as I become fascinated with that platform. So I think it's important to have a skill, and then the next thing that's important is to understand how you communicate. You know, I'm guessing right now, clearly can write. You know, other people can do audio, other people can do video. I think the self-awareness around how you're gonna communicate in one of the three mediums of how people consume content is massively important. And so, what are you gonna talk about? And what's your best way of communicating that? And then once you understand that, what is the current distribution situations of those things? So if you're good at audio, you know, you need to understand Anchor, you need to understand distribution of podcasts, you need to understand Alexa briefings, written word, you need to understand what's happening on Facebook and LinkedIn and Medium and contribution opportunities. And then video, you need to understand YouTube and Facebook and Vimeo, which reminds me, I still want a Vimeo movie ASAP.
But if everyone has a personal brand, then is there a point in having one?
Of course, it's called supply and demand.
Okay.
You know, everybody has a personal brand. Having a successful personal brand is very different.
So your first step would be to know your role, basically.
You have no chance of breaking through the supply and demand issue unless you have something to add. And so you need to figure that out.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a note. Like, that scares the out of me what these three people are doing right now.
Rule number 3, do as much as possible.
I think the answer right now to everything is more.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, what should I do for my personal brand? I'm like, as much as possible. If you can do a daily podcast, yes. If you can do a vlog, yes. If you can post 5 times a day on Instagram, yes. If you can do 30 posts for stories for Instagram and Snapchat, yes. If you can reply to 50 people on Twitter, yeah. Like, to me, the answer is yes. And so what the vlog does, so for example, the post that I personally just posted on Instagram is, I'll show you exactly how it works. You'll find it interesting. So this post that I just posted is something I said to a question, right?
Yeah.
The way it actually works is, as soon as I get so many texts, it's gotten slow, I gotta figure it out. So my team is on here, right? So here's how it works. I'll get a text like this from somebody on the team from things I've said, right?
Yeah.
So I said this in Daily V 455, right? And then I'll reply with only the ones I like, 2 and 4. And then, you know, hours later or first thing tomorrow, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it. This is what I was like asking.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how big is it in US?
I think the right number for somebody who's like really going for it is 6. What do you think, D-Rock?
Depending on what you're talking about, content and distribution or what?
Yeah. Right? I mean, if we really weren't building it for Vayner Talent, for VaynerMedia, if we were just me, we'd probably be 6, right?
Yeah.
1 paid, 1 video, 1 writer, 1 audio, 1 designer. It'd be tight, 6. I mean, 6 is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody who has 6 for one person. Yeah, I mean, it was just me for 7 years, you know?
Yeah, but I just like hire like my personal vlog filmer.
Yes.
So he's not here.
That's
now,
gonna help
like,
a lot. What the vlog did was opened up everything else. It opened up everything else. Now I document, I don't create, right? So even this clip, even this is very meta because now it might be titled for Facebook like how somebody should be thinking about building out their team for, and here it is. I didn't have to sit and write, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I don't have a writer right now, he moved on to another opportunity, but I'm hiring one and now this could be a LinkedIn post and she or he can listen to this whole thing, write it in first person, then they'll call me and ask me 2 or 3 more questions, I'll answer, and now you got an article. Because I think they all matter. Written word, audio, video, pictures, all of it matters.
And rule number 4, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is don't get caught up in the semantics.
Hey Gary, Rachel here. Love the show. So my question today is, do you recommend building a personal brand even if you're a behind the scenes player?
Rachel, it's a great question. I would say absolutely. Let me give you an example. If you're a behind the scenes player, wouldn't you want to be behind the scenes of somebody that you believe is the greatest in the world? And if you are building your personal brand around, I'm an unbelievable number 2 or number 4 or unbelievable admin or an unbelievable, I don't want to be out there, but I want to support the people I believe in the most, those people are going to be looking for those people. And so you might build the brand as an incredible human infrastructure player for somebody who's the greatest, and that would be then great for you. If you are the number 1 admin to the most successful person in the world, you are, and the nicest, I mean, I don't want to make this just about money. There's always a better situation potentially, and you want to give yourself that best opportunity. So building personal brand only speaks, my friends, to opportunity. If you're good at it and you're articulating your truth and you have the goods to back it up, all being out there, and people get so caught up in semantics of, oh, I hate that word personal brand. Like, don't get caught up in the semantics. Having exposure that creates opportunity is a good idea. Period.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Gary on how to not fake it that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What does your personal brand stand for? Number 2, how can you create more daily content? And number 3, what are the semantics that you need to stop getting caught up in? And if you promise to take action after watching this video, we don't just watch videos, we do something. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments and then get to work.
Do you feel like you want to be a personality?
I can.
So I think you know, and I know you know enough about my thing, and I'm not going down the who the do you think you are, don't be that 26-year-old life coach. But I do think we've never lived in a time where people can be personal brands. I mean, it's really funny, right? I wrote a book almost a decade ago called Crush It, which is like, go build your personal brand. And then I've spent the last 10 years making fun of people who, because so many people try to fake it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's how I got to document over creating.
Man, I can't tell you. I mean, obviously that's gone viral, but that's so huge, just that concept. So one thing.
Because then you don't have to fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Now you can just, like, to me, you're not any different, outside of a couple tweaks here and there, like me 26 years old was gonna be me this. And I wish I was documenting that.
Right.
I wish I was going through my first bit, like.
The ability to do it these days is just, I mean, every video
so devastated that lost in history.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, just vibing off your natural charisma and the whole thing, that's the game.
Yeah.
You need to figure that out. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to know Gary's views on how to win on Instagram, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.